Hello and welcome. Welcome to you. Welcome to me. Welcome to everybody. As you can see, I am in my living room here in this comfortable, cozy corner again. My name is Zenjen Brown, and welcome to Zenful Conversations. Today we have the honor of speaking with new friend to me, Jeannie Roberts. First, welcome, Jeannie. Welcome to the conversation.
Thank
Welcome to the
you.
conversation.
And thanks for having me and for this time. I appreciate it.
I have been having such fun with it. Um, well, none of us it's not, hopefully, I don't think it's news to anybody that the world has been a little crazy as of late. And so a few months back, I was like struggling with this beautiful, healthy vibration I like to live in this zone of. And I was finding myself dipping lower and lower and like, what the hey? And um So even my doctor, I mean, I love having an alternative thinking doctor, but I was really hoping I might get something to ease it a little bit. And she's like, improve your practice. I'm like, well, dagnabbit, that's exactly what I knew I needed to do. I was
Right.
hoping for a little bit of an easy way out. So anyway, so that's what I did. I just said, well, I'm going to do a Summer of Love poetry series,
Mhm.
and we have been having such a great time. I absolutely love these conversations. This has been such a fun part for me because there's not much prep to it. It's so vulnerable and so almost insane that it's really exciting, and I just really like it. I intentionally did not research you.
That's great. Then we can figure out together, through conversation, which is one of my favorite things to do is one-on-one or three or four people. So the more intimate, I think the better and the more vulnerable we can be, as you had mentioned. And lots of reality or authenticity and real talk and that's what it's about.
Yeah, I'm run by intuition. So there's like a lot of things I have no idea why. And this is one of them. Like, why, or why even who? Like, why did I ask you? Um, and I don't really know my whys. I do know that I stumbled across you because I'm a friend of Christina Norcross, poet Christina Norcross. So I stumbled across you, and even though I do say that Facebook does have many issues, I love that it has such a beautiful way, lovely space for connection. And
It does.
it does, yeah. And I heard you read a poem, um, and it was objectification. And I do women's workshops as part of my healing journey, and that's what I was like, wow. Um, that I thought, well, gosh, I could fit right in with one of my workshops, quite honestly, that I do in person
Right.
or whatever.
Yes.
And so that's exactly this when I just reached out and asked if you would do the workshop. I mean, do the conversation here.
Mhm.
And
Right.
thankfully, you said yes.
Yeah. Oh, I was
Thankfully, you
excited to
said
do
yes.
that. I like invitations, and I think I prefer those because again, you said you're intuitive and I'm intuitive, and it's like, okay, there's a hand reaching out or a voice reaching out, and it feels compatible. There's a parallel there. And getting back to my poem, Objectification, that's a universal uh, challenge with women, I think, especially probably in my era more so. Um, it's just, it seems to be something that we need to overcome to respect women and, um, just treat them equally. And I think that's
Do you want to read the poem or share what the poem is about for those who have
uh,
may not heard it?
I can read the poem. Sure. Let me just find it. And it's in my, I'll just plug this first.
No, absolutely. And I
Sorry.
gotta say,
Sorry. On a clear night, I can hear my body sing, and it was just published back in March by Kelsey Books.
Yeah,
It,
I love the title of that book. On a clear night, I can hear my body sing. I love the title of that. I did order it. I thought it
oh, you
might be here
did?
by,
Oh
yeah, but
my
I don't have
gosh.
it yet. I don't have it
Okay.
yet.
Thank you.
But
I
well, because then
appreciate that.
after I heard you read another poem and it was like, oh my God, this chick is deep.
Probably too deep. I've been told.
Well, I don't think I think we're gonna come back to that because I want to
I'll
hear
come back to that. Okay.
the poem.
I'll read that. It's a longer poem, and
Well, or you could, well, you surely you can read it, or if you don't feel comfortable
I
reading the
can.
whole thing,
Oh
you can
no,
tell about
whatever.
it.
You let me know. You're the
I would
host.
love you to read it.
Okay. The title, of course, is Objectification. Excuse me. It happens over time when you finally realize its impact, the cumulative nature of its treachery, the dehumanization of your being. You step away, neutralize the nonsense. Like clay, you're formed and shaped, smoothed, spun by others who orbited old line thinking, a social system whose wheel produced shapely, attractive vessels. Raised watching beauty pageants where top 10 lists were written and comparisons resonated across the room, you learned early on what's valued in a woman, her face and body. Not caring much for glamour, you responded with frowns and messy hair. Preferring your brother's old shirts, you imagined a world unbiased on lookism. As you got older, you covered your budding physique with bib overalls, though this type of clothing rarely sat well with sexism. Why on earth do you wear those damn baggy things? Show off your figure. Embarrassing comments and the unwelcome behavior of oogling activated something in your subconscious, told you to eat, gain weight, hide your shape. As time progressed, you got lost in the system. At 17, you were given appetite suppressants in preparation for modeling school. After a lifetime of being dismissed, pigeonholed, as nothing more than an ornament, an empty vessel, you stepped away, returned to the potter's wheel. You've come full circle, having listened to and rejected the overt and indirect messages of a woman's worth is tied solely to her appearance. Once again, you're a lump of clay moving around the wheelhead, but this time in the direction of your true north. As you undo the smoothing, yield to the real, most beautiful version of the no nonsense you.
Mm.
So it's a longer poem, but it's a heartfelt poem, and it's uh, you know it's one that I think a lot of women feel or girls feel when they're growing up. I mean, there's that, you know, what am I trying to say? A feeling
It's
of,
challenging to put
yeah,
to put words on it because I do
yeah,
think it's probably a little bit different for everybody, but I
it
do know that it
is.
resonated, and I know that I would use that in my workshop, so I know that it will be received by women that have
Right.
had a, you know, it, it is. I recognize it.
Hmm.
I've
Right.
recognized parts of it. And I thought, well, because I heard you just the other day read another book, I mean, another poem out of the book, which is what prompted me to buy the book.
Okay.
And it was about like belonging and DNA or something like that. And I
Right.
said, wow, because I'm like, oh boy, okay, now you're really saying some stuff. And you prefaced though the reading with almost a too much. Is this too much kind of thing? Is it too
Right.
much?
Yeah. I think as poets and artists and creative people, we tend to think about a lot of things that are universal topics, things that we would like to change. Uh, we can only change ourselves. We can't change humanity, but we can influence humanity with art and poetry. And perhaps sometimes my poems have activated or triggered people. I know when I read certain poetry, it activates something within me, a discomfort, which for me personally, if okay, what's going on? Something I need to change or I need to look at, within me if there's a discomfort or something. Um, so I think sometimes perhaps my poems are received that way, but they come from the heart and they come um, from a a complex and deep way of thinking. I don't always think that way. I like to be uh, whimsical and humorous, and that's very healing,
Yeah,
in
well,
its
that's
own
true
way.
too. I
Yes,
need a little bit more of that
yes,
whimsical in my life. I'm still unwinding.
right,
But I heard Rosemary Watala. I'm sure you're familiar with her. Um,
yes,
which I've talked about before and everybody knows I think she's a beautiful friend.
mhm,
But I heard her also talk about this, is it going to be too much?
right,
That concern, because it's deep, and because of your practice you get deeper, which is what's beautiful. And Rosemary was like, is it too much? And then it was kind of broken down into, you have the practice of writing in itself and then the practice of sharing, so
yes,
there's that too. But when I heard her say that, and I heard you say that the other day, I'm like, I'm coming at this writing and this poetry from the through the back. I went through yoga and certified, internationally certified as a therapist, yoga therapist, and in this therapy field, writing is a healing tool for practically everything. So I got into this whole field to help myself heal. And so now I know writing is what I want to focus on and what I use in all of my therapy clients and all that kind of stuff. So I'm bringing it to the forefront.
mhm,
And what I really like is been close to a year that I've been in this space trying to land and ground and figure it out. Uh, what do I want to say? And I feel like I have finally found my people. I feel like I have finally found my space, because all my life I have been told I'm too much, I'm too this, I'm too that, I'm
right.
too that.
I think a
To
lot of
where
women,
you're like,
yeah,
shut, you're just complete but I'm like, if this isn't the place to not be too much, there's nowhere else to go.
exactly.
If writing is not the place, so it's the writing and then what you share, probably that is takes a little bit more contemplation of, I guess, because yeah, you can't control how people receive.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And um, the reception of the poem differs obviously with every reader. Um, some truly embrace the work, whomever the writer is. And then others may, as again, feel that discomfort and back away from that. But perhaps later on, maybe they'll embrace it. It depends on their level of perception or what's going on in their life. Uh, you know, perhaps they'll come back to it later on or
Yeah,
under
sometimes you got to take smaller steps at
smaller
things. It
steps.
depends how ready you are to
Ex-
face whatever it is.
Exactly. So,
Mhm.
it just depends on the level of perception or consciousness or where you're at in your human development or, in your emotional uh, development, your emotional maturity. It's, humanity is so different, yet we're so alike. But, right, getting back to what you said, you have to take it in maybe small doses or pieces.
Yeah, it depends. I
It
think that
depends.
it's like the more general,
Mm,
the more people, the or
right,
so the more it's not everybody's going to be there, or they can only take a little tiny bit at a time.
right.
But yeah, boy, if we could just keep moving in that direction, I
But
think it would be great.
yes, exactly. And um, the relatable poems out there are so valuable. I mean, I think that is beautiful. I'd like to write in a more relatable way. I'm trying to. I tend to be, as you said, maybe a little deeper, more complex or abstract in my thinking. And my goal, and I've had this goal for a few years now, is just to be a little bit softer in my presentation, or less complex. Um,
I
in
appreciate the depth. I want you to know that I am one that appreciates the depth. So
Thank
thank
you.
you for sharing your work, and I'm excited to get the book.
Well, thank you again for ordering it. I hope you like it. Let me know.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. Well, I heard two of them,
Thank
and
you.
I'm like, that's, in any way, yeah, thank you. Um, but yeah. All right, so why did you say yes to this conversation?
Well, because I know you interviewed James Cruz and his husband, and that was wonderful. And I'm a fan of obviously of James Cruz and his books. And of course, Christina, my friend Christina Norcross, poet friend, she was on, and I loved the interview. I thought it was very relaxed and real, and that I enjoy that. And so I think that's the parallel that that attraction or that intuitive connection um, is why I said yes. So
Cool.
and I haven't, as I said before, I haven't done a Zoom in a long time. And I'm trying to get back out there. I've been probably, I don't know, cocooning for a while, I guess, working on some things. We all have those shifts and changes in life um, and reflection. And sometimes we tend to retreat or step back for a while. And that's what I've been doing. And you're the first conversation, I guess, about poetry that I've had in a while, except
Awesome.
I did do a small workshop in June at a conference, Wisconsin Fellowship account, or excuse me, Wisconsin Fellowship of Poets in Madison. They had their conference, and I did just a short workshop, and that was wonderful. It felt good about it, great energy, and I'm just slowly kind of, I don't know, getting
Yeah.
out there.
Well, so my mind always goes to this. It's like it doesn't have to be on or off. It's a lot
Right,
more, it's a lot more liquid.
exactly, exactly.
A lot more liquid.
Fluidity, right, like a
Yeah.
river, like a river.
Yeah.
But then
But I
there's
think like
that.
go ahead.
There's then the ocean too. There's the ebb and flow, and sometimes you're in the ebb a little bit longer than you want to be, but then it's managing that balance, or you know that.
There's so much
Yeah.
to it, really. It's how sensitive we are, what's going on in
Yes,
the world, what
exactly.
personally we've been through. Because, like I think I told you, well, it was the whole reason for my change of life. I just was not always yoga or any of this at all. Farthest thing probably from it. It would have been like, you got to be kidding me. There's no way. Um, But, and then life uh, finally catches up with you, or however you want to
Right,
phrase it.
right.
And all of a sudden, I needed to ground, and I had to ground for about 10 years. Nourishment after nourishment, just keep nourishing, just keep nourishing, just keep nourishing until, oh, I'm not grounding anymore. Look,
Exactly,
I'm
yeah,
doing this.
right. Exactly, and you're feeling more at peace with yourself and your inner world and, you know,
Oh,
things
yeah.
things flow then, there's a fluidity involved. And the fact that you're doing these conversations and the workshops, that's, very, very brave and very creative and very worthwhile, I think, for community to establish community and connection, and, that's very important. That's all we
Well,
have.
we all need it right
Yeah,
now. We,
exactly.
we all need to do everything we can to help with what's going on. We've
Right.
got to keep our head above water here
Yes, we
somehow.
do. Yes, we do. And I appreciate the title of your series, Summer of Love. I love that.
Thank you.
It's just positive and um, there's a lightheartedness about it, and it just it's good energy. It's beautiful. So
No, thanks.
thanks for
And
doing this.
thank you. Thank you for taking part in it, really,
Sure.
because it was just again, one of those, well, let me do this.
Exactly.
And I
Well,
do it. I
that's
like it.
right, that's the way to do it. I mean, the spontaneity is important, and that's very creative. That spontaneous, okay, I'm going to just do this now and see where it leads. And that's a very wonderful way to have an outlet of creativity. So, yeah,
Oh, fun,
good,
fun. Yeah, I love also just I'm really enjoying these conversations with people. And not knowing who you are and then learning
right.
about you, and then when I get off the call, now I'm like, "Really? Well, let me check this out, she's cool, let me see," and it's just neat because, I feel like I know you pretty nicely when we're done with
Yes,
this conversation.
definitely. And like I said before, I prefer this, the one-on-one. It's just there's an intimacy. We can feel each other's energy, what's going on, and intuitively, that's important. So, yes. Do you mind if I read another poem?
No, don't mind at all, I wish you
Is
would.
is that okay? Um,
Absolutely.
this is not from my newest or latest poetry collection. This was published in Amethyst Review in April, and it I don't know, it's kind of a favorite of mine right now. Um, the title is On a Nearby Power Line, and the epigraph beneath it is by Alice Walker, who or is a novelist writer, and she was a Pulitzer Prize winner for The Color Purple. But the epigraph reads, quote, "Expect nothing, live frugally on surprise," end quote. And that's kind of how I'm living right now. We all have our expectations, but if we drop them, there's a lightness there. So here's the poem. On a nearby power line. Perhaps the unforeseen nod appears as a blue ribbon presented to the best cross stitch at a county fair, or a $100 bill payout after the purchase of a $2 lottery ticket, or even a first place award given to the standout poem in a statewide poetry contest. Whatever the amazement, a sense of elation rushes through the body, akin to a shift in weather. As if an updraft on litterfall, the feeling of exhilaration expands outward. Once, my cousin Katie experienced prize winning success on national television. A chain reaction of joy occurred during the game show and within the family. Like the thrill of observing dominoes as they tap one another, then drop into the ecstasy of effect. Why not celebrate the blessings of everyone? Gathering exuberance from the world's wellspring can free the tension of expectancy. Why not live without expectation? Ease can replace the nature of anticipation. How does the frugal surprise arrive as the unexpected gift? Yesterday, a Cooper's hawk landed on a nearby power line. I got a good look. So, that was my prize. And this is obviously a true experience. As I was walking, I saw this Cooper's hawk, and I was walking in the city, in downtown. So it was unusual to see, a Cooper's hawk fly right over and then land on the power line. And so that kind of made my day. So you just never know what surprise you're going to have. You're not expecting it, but boy, it sure makes your day. And that poem, I don't know, it's where I'm at right now in everything. I mean, those expectations can certainly be dashed, over and over and over again. And we've got to let those go. And I'm certainly a culprit of expecting things, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's like, no, you do the best you can, do your work, do the best you can, put it out there. If people
I
appreciate
try to
it, you know,
practice that as well. Yeah, because that's falls in line with some Buddhist
right,
type teachings, of the non-attachment and
right,
um because it does with our own suffering. I mean that's what I'm looking for is to just
right,
keep chill with all this
exactly,
craziness going on.
yeah.
And it's
So much
quite the
crazy,
practice.
so much craziness. Yeah, it's a
It's
mind, it's a mindset change. It's a rewiring.
woo.
And
Yeah.
it takes time, obviously, but boy, once you have fairly, if you've captured it, the world
Well,
feels so
I can
much
see
lighter.
that I do it in some places I can see that I'm much better at that practice than in other areas.
Right. I'm the same way, obviously. Yeah, with, relationships, you expect a few things but then again, we can't change people, we can only change ourselves. So that expectancy really, I'm trying to drop it all. And I'm
Mm.
pretty much there. Obviously, I fall short. I think that's the human condition. We fall
Well,
short.
yeah, we are human.
We're
We are
human.
human.
We fall short over and over again. But
And
as
it's a
long as we,
beautiful gift to be human, so
it,
I don't want to
it
diss it.
is, it is, no, not at all. But to get back up, get back up, stand up, and keep going. Um, so
Well,
anyway,
that's interesting. What would lead you to, what was your previous practice? Or do
well,
you
I've
know?
always pretty much tried to practice that, but expecting, have certain expectations, I think, of ourselves. And I think I feel maybe disappointed in myself sometimes that I could do better, but that puts a lot of pressure on you as a person. And it's like, there's a gentler way of living, a softer way of living. And that expectation is hard and hard line and overly focused. And I think I'm overly focused quite often, and I would like to let go of that as well.
Mm.
So overall, as a person, um,
Yeah,
so
you're talking about with your writing too. So you're just talking
yeah,
about softening across the
softening.
board. Let's
Exactly.
soften this across the board here.
Let's just soften the whole thing. Right, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Ah.
So anyway,
So I think you have quite a few books. Is that true? I think I saw you
I
got what,
do.
9 or something like
I
that?
I do. And my
Fantastic.
my first one came out in 2009, a children's book dedicated to my son. It was basically a tribute to him. And because we had fun together making faces, it's called Let's Make Faces. And so I illustrated the book, and with pictures of him making funny faces and me and other children. So it's not just, it's a worldview uh, book, to engage with your children, have fun with them. And then there's a poem that runs throughout it. And that was in 2009. And then I think the next one came out was 2013, and it was called Nature of It All. And basically, just a lot of nature poems about the natural world. And again, nature is very healing, and I'm out there all the time. You probably are too, taking walks or, enjoying nature, hiking. I like to cross. Well, I used to. I don't now. Cross country ski. I like to snowshoe. Just so poems that are. The book is through the seasons. So uh, that was in 2013. That was published, and that was Finishing Line Press came out with that. And then the next one was, I can't even, let me look. I have some notes. You told me I could have a few
Yep.
notes. I had too many things here. Sorry.
There's nothing to be sorry about.
Oh,
You said
no,
that one was
no
titled Through the
stuff.
Seasons, though, right?
It's called Nature of It All.
Nature of it all.
Yeah, but it's divided by the seasons. So
Okay. Oh, I see.
yeah, I
Got it. Okay.
misspoke. But
No,
it's
that's my brain. That's not you.
but that's Nature of It All, and that was published by Finishing Line Press, and that was my first poetry chapbook. And then the next one was in 2015, and that was or is titled Beyond Bulrush. And Jane L. Carmen published it. It's through Lit Fest Press. And I don't know if Jane still has her publishing um, endeavor going on, but Jane is a very talented professor and writer and poet. And that came out in 2015. And again, more nature poems. There's some personal poems in there um, um, about there's some trauma involved in there. We all have our things that we write about as far as a healing practice. And a lot of those poems in there were about early on with loss and things of that nature. And then in 2017, Finishing Line Press came out with another one of my books called Romp and Ceremony, and that's a full-length poetry collection. There's a lot of humor in that one. Um, and it's just a combination of romp, the humorous, and then ceremony, a little bit more serious, a few more serious poems. And then in 2017, do you mind if I show another cover?
No, of course. You
Okay,
do whatever you want to
okay,
do.
okay.
We're
Well,
in
you're
charge here.
you're the host. The Wingspan of Things, this one came out in 2017, and this one is dedicated to my son. And here's the back of it, and those are my photos. I'm just taking photos all the time. I think you are, aren't you too? Don't you get out there?
No, I've yet I'm just cracking a door open on my creativity. I'm trying to get her to
Okay.
blossom, but she's taking her sweet time.
That'll
But
probably be next because with creativity, obviously, there's crossover. We write, we paint,
oh
we
yeah, I
sing.
know it's in there.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
definitely do. Christina told me you were quite a visual artist as well.
That
Yeah.
was that was very nice of her to mention. But I've been in Christina's journal, the Blue Heron Review, um, for many years with my poetry, and she's featured me as a photographer, and so I'm very grateful to her. Her dedication to the journal and for her invitations to have my poetry and my artwork in her
Yes.
journal. So I hope you read her new um her current one. her
Her
current,
book, The Poetry Apothecary?
no, her current, well, that, I know you have her book, but her current journal that came
Have
out.
not checked out the
Yeah,
journal.
check that one out because there's a lot of beautiful artwork in there, wonderful poetry by many different poets I think you would enjoy. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. I will.
Yeah. And then, so that was that one's dedicated to my son, The Wingspan of Things. And then in 2019, and there's here another children's book called Rhyme the Roost. And it's a collection of poems and paintings for children. And so again, there's illustrations in here that I've done. And this one is also dedicated well, for the children and to my son, both the young and the young at heart. So, and there's a poem in here that I'd like to read maybe at the end. It's kind of humorous, so we can leave on a happy note. Perhaps I could read that later on.
Of
But
course. Of course. Absolutely.
and then
Absolutely.
um oh, and then I guess I have another one here too. I don't have it in my notes. 2018 was the Rhyme the Roost, and then I have, let's see, and I'm not going to show all the covers to you, but
All right, if you do.
okay. This one, I'll show you this one, I guess. As If Labyrinth. This is came out during the
And
pandemic, or it's about the pandemic in 2021. Yeah,
what
so
is the photo of on the front? What is it? What is
that
it?
is a lake, and it has a spider web in there. You can hardly see it, but I mean,
Uh-huh. Oh.
you can see it. And one
So
of
spider web on the back in the background is a lake. I'm saying this also because we're on
yes,
podcast sometimes. So it's a
okay,
lake in the background with a spider web on the
yes,
top of it. That's
yes,
cool.
yeah. And one of the poems in there, it's a villanelle, talks about a spider. Anyway,
Mm,
and then, um,
that's a
let's
nice title too.
thank you. Yeah, the world is a labyrinth, right? I mean, wow, it's a
Mhm.
puzzle and a maze, and so a lot of poems about the pandemic. It's pandemic inspired poems in there.
Uh-huh.
And then I think after that came The Ethereal Effect, a collection of villanelles. And again, that was published by Kelsey Books in 2022. And this is all villanelles in here, and it's foreign poetry. And so far, I've written 45 villanelles, which shows that I'm overly focused. And it's like, okay, I like the practice of form poetry. It's uh, a way to create a poem with brevity, and that helps in your free verse as well, because you're working with a certain amount of lines, and it's it's just a great way to create a structure that is spare. And in writing, it's best to not be overly verbose. And I have been in the past. I've gotten better as a writer. Obviously, we have to start somewhere. And
Yeah, I'm still at the wild riding phase.
well, that's a
That's
great stage. We
I haven't even gone back in really and revisioned anything, although I find the process interesting. And I will say I took a one of Maya Stein's offerings and about revision, and it was just it's incredibly fascinating. But I haven't gone back with anything yet and sat with it. Um, Not that I'm afraid of it, I just haven't really created the time slot. This summer of love has been popular.
yes, I'm
s-
glad. I'm
I'm
glad.
glad too, but I don't have much spare time at the moment.
But you will
I
when
wouldn't have it any other
yeah,
way.
that's good. When the time is right. Sometimes things need to percolate and sit there and just, um,
Well, this is all part of it.
Exactly.
this is how I enter the room.
Yes, exactly.
No, so yeah, it'll come, but this is all part of my practice too. Anyway, it's what the doctor said, improve my practice. As a therapist, that's what I would have told myself. Improve your practice.
Right.
And whatever that is, actually, all of them. You need to improve all your practices in order to still tap into those deeper layers of contentment here.
Correct. Yes.
Because I'm
I
getting too
agree.
distracted with things, and if I watch the news for just that wee bit too much, it has pushed me over, and um, I can actually recognize depression from there.
Exactly. Oh, yes. When we watch the news, it's a spiral. I mean, I, I know a
Oh,
lot of
I'm
people that,
treading,
yeah,
lightly looking at it here. I want to definitely stay informed,
right. We need to,
and
exactly.
yeah, so there's a lot there. So
Yeah.
that's just, yeah,
No, I
yeah,
understand.
all.
I'm with you on that. I try to avoid the news, but again, keep informed. But, after I have read an article or watched the news, if I can, I try to get outside, and breathe and take a walk or do something that, boosts those endorphins, those happy chemicals that are natural within us, or gardening, you know, dirt, they say, smell the dirt. Um, because there's that happy chemical in there. I don't know the name off the top of my head, but that really,
There's so
yeah,
much truth to that. And I
yeah,
did a guided meditation this morning where the practice, well, there's a couple things in the practice, a couple benefits to it, but and so you mentioned this one, and then you mentioned this one, and you mentioned balancing the nervous system and all that. But it's
right,
also these are more subtler,
yeah,
it's with the amount of stimulation that's out here.
yeah,
These really need a, a softer
yes,
approach to even see or notice them. And so it's not like a quick fix, it's not a one and done, but if we
no,
can just make it part of our life, that's
yes,
what your day is filled with. This looks like soon as you're good at recognizing then the
yes.
energy,
I feel that within my body. I can just tell right away, okay, it's
and
time
you
to,
come to your own rescue right away though.
exactly. That's what it is. It's coming to your own rescue. It doesn't always happen, but 9 times out of 10, it does. And I can just feel it. And also, if I'm watching TV, if I'm watching a violent show or, with violence in it, okay, I've had enough. And I'll try to find a comedy or, something, a fantasy, or, that's really uplifting. But when you start feeling your energy sink or move into a rumination mode or thinking about things that make you sad, time to come back up and shift whatever activity you're doing. And reading too, it depends on what you're reading too. Again, talking, getting back to that activation or certain triggers, in poetry or whatever you're reading, a novel, I'll put that down and because I'm noticing, you know, inside my body and noticing the energy and how it's shifting. So, and I think that's what you're doing with your yoga, with your classes with people, and learning that energy shift and how to heal yourself. Basically, the bottom line is in that moment doesn't mean we don't go down. We don't go down and spiral a bit, but then if we can come back up and, it's a process again, getting back to the ebb and flow of, water.
Yeah, and why you write.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. hmm And I started writing young, like I think most creative people, but my writing was elementary school, and then I had it was my seventh grade English teacher. I remember her name, Miss Barton, and it was at Ramsey Junior High School in Minneapolis. I think that they tore that building down. I don't even think it exists anymore. But she was very encouraging of my writing. And I never felt confident in it. I felt more confident with my visual art. That seemed to be innately, I just felt more, what's the word? I just felt, I don't know, it, innately, I felt better with the visual art. Writing uh, has taken me a while. I've always written. I call myself a closet poet because I never really shared it. Because I know a lot of my friends have said, "I didn't know you wrote, Jeannie," and I said, "Yeah, but
It's a whole new
I haven't
level of
shared it."
vulnerable. I mean,
It's it's
to
vulnerable, yeah.
share. I mean, because I thought I mean, I have been showing up for myself for the past decade. Hold on, let me find my other ear.
Okay.
I have been showing up for myself for the past decade. But when came into this field of writers, this is a whole
Yes,
another level of showing up, and
it
excites me. Okay.
it is. Yeah.
Uh, but then sharing it, not in a small circle. I love sharing it in these protected spaces,
Mhm.
these sacred conversations and stuff. But sharing it in a book, in a collection or something like that, that is like a whole different, I can't even comprehend that yet. But so the whole flow of writing, you're going through this through your day. Do you write in the day or do you write in the evening? I mean, in the morning or in the evenings, or is it
The
fluid,
mo
or
the morning is better for me. I feel early morning is great. Probably it depends on what's going on, but usually an hour maybe in the more early morning though. I'm talking, you know, 6:37, 7:30. I need quiet time in order to think. And then as the day goes on, I think this is with everyone, you just, your energy level dips. At least for me, it does. And in the evening, I have trouble with writing in the evening. I've done it. I mean, to get a project done, or if I'm on a deadline, I can do that. But it doesn't flow as well as in the morning. And I think that's typical of most writers. Sunrise, morning. And I used to do it every day. I've taken a break, and I've taken a break with a lot of things. Um, and it's not that I have writer's block. I've been deliberate in taking a
Hmm.
break.
Yeah, it's the softness that you've been
It's a
talking
soft,
about.
exactly.
Yeah, I don't want all those rules placed on me. I'm coming to this space. I'm
Yeah,
finally a decade and I feel somewhat healed. There's no
yeah,
way I want to be freaking myself out
right.
again and causing
Exactly.
stress again.
Yeah.
Stress again.
And that's that expectation too that I'm trying to
Right.
just lose it, don't put those expectations on. It was what I'm saying to myself, you know drop the expectations, and when it happens. And that's how I'm feeling right now. I've been extremely focused my entire life, and it's time, like we said, Jen, to soften it a bit, to let go. And
Sure the heck is. If not now,
um,
when?
when exactly, exactly.
It has to be now because honestly, time is short, and
Yes,
what even if it's longer, we're talking the quality of it
right.
and our
Ex-
capabilities, even though, I'm expecting a lot of good things. Uh,
Expecting good
there
things,
is
I
no
think.
other time that right now is our best.
Exactly. But expecting good things, though, that's a mindset that is wonderful. That if that's your expectation of goodness, and that could be anything. Getting back to my poem, seeing that Cooper's hawk fly over me, that's a good expectation. I mean, I didn't expect it, but
Mhm.
have that vision
Right.
in
Well,
your
it's the
head.
energy. It's the energy,
It's
is
that
it? So
energy.
yeah, but I
Right.
don't think it has to be about attachment to.
Right.
outcomes. But the
True.
energy, we definitely want to stay with it's vibration.
Right. Exactly. Yes. But
We
attachment outcomes, that has to soften for sure. And that's where I'm at. So
It's done.
you described that perfectly. Yes.
It's done. You're moving on. Next
Exactly.
question.
Exactly. Okay.
Were you always confident? Because you were talking about
Oh,
school and you were
no.
confident in school?
Um, I was, I had a different upbringing. I was born in Minneapolis and we moved to rural area in Wisconsin when I was in ninth grade. So, and then my dad died a year later after that. So that I had some major trauma. Um, and and I was always shy. And I had an even harder time, with that culture shock and geography shock and just different, and my father dying, and I'm really addressing that now, or I have been over the years, but I can see clearly now how my life has the journey of my life because of those early beginnings. But getting back to your question, I kind of sidebarred a little bit. As far as have I always been focused? Yeah, I have been focused on my
Confident.
subjects. What's that?
Confident. Confident, I think. Is it have you always
I
had
don't
confidence?
I don't know if I felt confident. I just wanted to do well, I guess, or get my assignments done, and I have not. Mathematics has been a challenge for me, and that has always been an issue for me, and I've had trouble with that growing up. Math. I learned differently in math. And so I've really tackled what I fear. And so that focus was put on math. It was put
Mm,
on sciences.
I
Uh,
see. Right, right, right.
and I am a right brain, left brain person. Um, so I've gone into things that are analytical and challenging because I've had trouble with them in the beginning, in my early beginnings.
Hmm.
And I don't know, you know, I find it's easier for me to work right brain than left brain now as I in my advanced age, I'll say. But I could switch back and forth easier when I was younger. But I had to train myself. I know that sounds unusual, but you
No,
know,
it's interesting. Well, I'm just
yeah,
trying to put it together. What years were you? Because I heard you say that you were a model.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, right. That was obviously part-time because I've worked full-time in different industries throughout my life. But I started my mother signed me up for a modeling school when I was 17 years old. And my
Uh-huh.
mother was a former model, and she had gone to modeling school. And this was after my father had died because he died when I was 15. He was 52 when he died. He passed away. So that was too young, obviously. But uh, so yeah, she signed me up for modeling, this modeling school when I was 17. And things really changed at that time. I mean, I was always shy, and that did help me to open up. I never really smiled before. And so there was a self development in that, I guess, confidence. I never felt confident inside, though.
Right, right,
My
right,
exterior maybe looked confident.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
I do. And because you're pretty, naturally, people automatically thought you were confident.
Well, I've never been confident. So,
You know,
and
it's
to
I
this
don't
day, I don't.
are the modeling schools because I remember I wanted to go to modeling school when back in the day. Are they still like that now, or modeling schools more what women did kind of thing? Women that could afford it kind of went to modeling school.
I think my mom, I think at her era, that's what they did. It was like a etiquette school or, something like that.
Right.
But but she did actually model. She was a runway model and she was many things. She was very talented. She was a dental hygienist. She was a singer. She played the violin. I mean, she was multi-talented. Um, but appearance, just for some reason, way back and even nowadays, it seems to be still top of mind for women, many women. And I'm not comfortable with that personally. I like to um, shape my mind and my inner person versus, you know, the outer person and outer appearance. And yes, I've been a part of that. And I felt um, like I'm not good enough ever. I've
Hmm.
never felt
Hmm.
like that. I think that comes from my upbringing too. I think that's just kind of a culture thing with women, and it's still here to
Yeah.
this day. And I don't understand why it's still here, because we are more than that, obviously. Uh,
Well, yeah. I mean,
so, but um, I don't know. I think people have a perception of someone who has modeled or been in the fashion industry, and there's a stigma attached to it, which is very sad. There is, yes, there is, there can be truth to that, of thinking of someone in the fashion industry may be vain, may be, just only about their appearance. But that's not always true, and it's hard to change people's perceptions of that. And I did teach professional modeling and on-camera performance and self-development at a modeling school, and I was an administrator as well. And during my classes, and it wasn't part of the curriculum, I had a section about inner beauty. And I talked about that a lot. So I kind of added that in there because I never really felt comfortable uh, in the progression of my life. It just kind of went that direction in fashion. Part of it, I did love the art of it. It's because fashion is beautiful. It can be very artistic. And that's just another fashion of creative, excuse me, another facet of creativity is fashion. It can be. Um, so, you know,
it's self-improvement too,
it's
anyway.
self-improvement. Yeah, it
Self-improvement's
is. It
always
is.
good. No,
It is.
always.
It is good. However, it's that inner world that needs improvement. We all need that. And so I talked about that quite a bit with my students. And
That's the main thing. That's what we got going for us now.
yes, exactly.
We
So,
recognize it.
right. But
Uh,
I'm grateful for the years that I was a part of that industry. Um, it's come to gratitude, perhaps not in the past, because I felt um, that I really didn't fit in at all, as far as my inner world was not matching my outer world. And so looking back, I'm glad I had those experiences. I think that makes for a more well-rounded person if you can look back and um, grab the bright parts of it, or
Hmm.
hold on to the goodness of of those experiences. And the goodness of those experiences, again, what, I have many, but in particular was teaching these women or girls, because it was like 12 to 40, 45 year olds in the classes, and talking about your inner beauty and your inner world. And I really enjoyed that part, and I hope they got something out of it. I know I did. I loved working with these women. They were all beautiful.
Yeah. Well, it's evident that you do because that is what you're doing in this. From just the two poems I heard, I'm looking forward to reading the book and
Thank
learning
you.
more about you. But those two poems are asking you to move all this other stuff out of the way so you can see this light.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
That's what it is. And sometimes it's deep and sometimes whoa, sometimes it's this and sometimes it's that.
Right.
But I know for me, one of the neatest things is when you're finally able to say, all of a sudden, it'll just pop right in front of your eyes. Something will be taking place within you, most likely. Nobody else is knowing this even. But you say to yourself, oh, that's where that started, or that's where that came
Yes.
from.
Right.
There's no greater feeling than seeing where something you have been dealing with for your whole life, possibly. And when you see, or when all of a sudden it makes sense that, like, because I had unworthiness for a long time. And honestly, just since, I don't know, the past 8 months, I was looking at a photo of mine, of
Mhm.
myself in my kindergarten class. And I looked at that girl and I knew, I was there with her.
Right.
And I knew what she had experienced already, and I was like, I saw so clearly that's where it began.
Right. Yes.
And since then, I don't feel that. Not, I mean, I've been slowly chipping away at this anyway, but boy, oh boy, it really kind of washed it right out. And, just
Yes.
seeing you. So there's so much to all of what you say in the two poems I know about it.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of depth, and I have a lot of nature and lighthearted poems as well. It's not all complex, but a lot of my poems are. But again,
Well,
I'm
still,
yeah,
it's still asking you to go within.
right.
You're
Yes,
I think you do a good job um at getting deeper in there to the core of our heart, not
right,
necessarily even feeling. Maybe some more are than the others, but I'm
right.
looking forward to the book. I
Thank
didn't
you.
mean to cut you off there.
No, this is conversation. I love it. We're
Yeah.
we're talking together, so wonderful.
I
Well,
know, me too. I will forget what I'm going to say if I don't kind of say it now. So, yeah. So, um, you're just having an overall chilling out, but I want you to know that you're welcome to come on and talk anytime if you feel like you want to do it
okay.
again.
Yes, I
Do
would
know
love
that you're
I
always
I
welcome.
I would love that, Jen, because this is as I said, I probably my third or fourth time, this is the kind of conversation that fills my heart, and it just feels good. It's not competitive, it's just easy, and we're just talking, and that
Yeah, there is no right or wrong.
no,
There's no
right,
editing. There's too
right.
much professionalism these days. I need
I
to keep it real.
I agree. I agree. And professionalism, there's a stiffness involved, there a pretense involved. However, professionalism is wonderful, but if we can balance it a little bit, great too, but this kind of conversation is something I enjoy.
Thank you so much. Let me ask you, so do you do
Yeah.
coaching or any kind of one-on-one, or are you
You know,
not right now?
I have in the past, I've one-on-ones with writers and actually artists workshops because I've done that as well. But probably not right now. I'm not doing that because I am a one of the poetry editors at Halfway Down the Stairs with Philip. Is the other editor I work with, and so I'm busy reading uh, submissions, and it's a
Hmm.
quarterly journal or magazine. So that keeps me busy and with,
That's right.
you know, so right now probably
Oh
I,
yeah, it's all about our pace. We got to keep our pace.
exactly.
Because otherwise, if that pace is too busy, we won't notice the little birds singing.
Right. We won't notice that
We
Cooper's
won't
Hawk.
the Cooper's Hawk. Right, because if we're too busy, we just won't notice it. And that's the shame.
Exactly. I do you mind if I read one that humorous poem
Oh,
so
yes,
we have a
please do.
little, because I think we're over time, but I'm loving
Oh,
this time.
me
But
too. I'm good. We're good. It's
we're
all
good?
good.
Okay. Okay, good.
Of course,
All right.
we get to make
So
the rules.
we get to make the rules and we can do that. That's great. Okay, this one is again from Rhyme the Roost,
Cool.
and it has illustrations in it as well. Let's see if I did I find, oh, here it is. Okay. This one is kind of a tongue twister, and it's called jambalaya. And it's kind of a play on words with, hold on a second. I have notes in the back of this. This poem is a play on words, a jumble and a mixture of silliness. And jambalaya is a Louisiana Creole dish made with a mixture of chicken, sausage, rice, tomatoes, celery, and spices. So I'm just kind of put a play on words with jambalaya. So this is called jambalaya. Okay. Jambalaya words, not rice, shaken up with silly spice. Topsy turvy, tossle, tilt, turn turtle, words built, inside out, upside down, out of order, moved around. Mingle, medley, muddle, mix, jumble, jostle, fiddlesticks. Somersaults, front to back, topple, tip, Jill and Jack. High five, fi hive, tongue tangle, jawbone jive. Lollygag, golly lag, gosh by golly, scramble, snag. Top notch, nop, touch. Oops, another bungle botch. No dice, do nice. A tumble toward good advice. Hot dog, dot, hog. Shuffle, shift, brain, bog. Widow's peak, piddow's weak. Swerve, switch, stumble, speak. Gung ho, hung go, blunder babble. Take it slow. Jambalaya words, not rice, shaken up with silly spice. I love to write that kind of stuff. It just kind of makes me happy.
That is,
It's ridiculous, but hey, if we get a laugh, you
oh,
know.
that's great. Are you kidding me? That's
And
awesome.
then, okay, I want to quote Anne Lamott's quote: laughter is carbonated holiness. And I'm sure you know that quote. Absolutely. If we can laugh more, oh my gosh, that makes the world a brighter place. And,
Yeah.
you know, I love writing children's poetry. I love the cadence and rhythm and the rhyme. I haven't done that in a long time, but
How
it's
fun.
it's enjoyable. Very
How
enjoyable.
fun.
Yeah.
Do you have a website?
I do. I haven't updated it in a while. It's www, obviously, jrcreative.biz, B-I-Z. And I've had that website, oh my gosh, since the year 2000, maybe. It's been updated many times, but I think the last time it was updated was at least 3 or 4 years ago. So, but
It's all good.
there's a
You
lot
know what it
on there.
is? Layla Delia. think that's her name. She had a book titled Vibrate Higher Daily.
Okay.
And in there is a little blurb about harmonize. And it was
Yes.
just saying when you don't feel like yourself or when you don't do this, you need to take time to harmonize. And it's not, it's just about putting your energy back where it belongs. It's about
Mhm.
recharging and discharging. And I don't know it off the top of my head, but it's so good. And I will send it to you.
I would love that.
And yeah, because it just and that's what you're doing. We're just taking time to harmonize. And you know what? My website's not the way I want it to be either,
But
you
we have
know?
one, so
And yeah, I mean, and that's that expectation thing, and that's why I'm like doing these unedited and hey, I'm tired. I'm in my pajama pants.
I can't see them. I see your peace necklace, which I love.
Yeah, that's
I'll show you my, I've got a pyrite necklace. If you see
oh,
that piece of
full.
pyrite,
Yeah.
I purchased that in Tasco, Mexico, probably in the early 80s. I mean, it's old. But pyrite, you probably know stones and minerals and spiritual meanings and all that.
Some, but I don't quite know the pyrite.
Yeah, pyrite is for protection against negative energy. And I've been wearing this the last couple of weeks and maybe it's magical thinking, I don't know, but I'm feeling more protected lately. But
Well, hey, no, I believe it. I mean, energy is everything. I mean,
yeah,
we gotta have to have another conversation. That's all
yes,
there is to it.
we do.
But yeah, and we could even focus on one book at a time or something like that.
That
Or,
would I would enjoy
if you get
that.
a new book too,
Yeah,
you're always welcome to come on for that too. All right,
wonderful.
kiddo. Hey, thank you
Oh,
so
I
much.
loved it, Jen.
Uh,
This Zen
I
Jen.
did too.
You are Zen Jen.
Ooh. I
Yeah.
was Jen when I was a kid. I
Oh,
remember everybody
yeah.
calling me Jen.
Yeah.
And then I was Jenny with an IE in school. And then I was Jennifer with um my daughter's husband, Jennifer. I
Okay.
don't use that one anymore for nothing.
Jen
Um,
is the one
and
now.
then I went to Jen Brown when I was doing
Okay.
real estate, and then it
Okay.
evolved into Jen Brown. So I
Okay.
expect to keep this one because I really like this where we're at.
I like it. And it rhymes. Zen Jen can't get any better than that. It's a feel good name.
Yeah. But yeah, I really appreciate it. It was a delightful conversation. Thanks so much for sharing. I do like your work. I like the
Thank
depth of your
you.
work. I'm happy to have stumbled across even such
Thank you.
depth, but for a new friend for sure.
Thank
And
you.
just thank you for taking part in the Summer of Love
Oh,
series and
it's my pleasure. My
making it a
pleasure.
success.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah,
Take care.
thanks everyone for coming by. And it's Jeannie Roberts, and her newest book is
On
Say,
a
what's
cl-
it?
on a clear night, I can hear my body sing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please visit zenfulconversations.com and sign up for something during this summer of love. In gratitude,
Thank you.
namaste.
Namaste.